Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm glad you've tuned in for the show today. I'm Lynelle Ellis, your host, and today I'm going to be talking with Jess Portas, who's the owner of the Refinery, which is a pottery studio here in Walla Walla. And I know that we are going to have a great conversation about some of the creative possibilities here in our community. And also, I've got some things to share with you during our station news segment, so be sure to stay tuned for that at the end of the program as well. Let's begin now with our devotional thought. Today, I wanted to talk with you about what it's like to sort of prepare our hearts and minds for the Easter season or the resurrection season that is coming up soon. This is a time of year when many Christians throughout the world are thinking of some sobering thoughts in a season that's often referred to as Lent, where we're thinking about how we can come closer to God and be very intentional and very serious and repentive about our experience with God, our relationship with God, as we come close to remembering and celebrating Christ's death and his resurrection for us. And unlike some holidays, we actually know that Christ really was, he was the sacrifice for us during that spring season. And so the dates that we have for Passover, the dates that we have where Christians celebrate Easter, are actually literally the same time of year where Christ made this sacrifice for us. And so I think it makes sense for us to contemplate on these things. And along that theme, I've been reading some devotionals particularly designed to help us think about how we can view Christ's sacrifice, how we can prepare for this time of year when we really focus on what he did for us. And I found one by a gentleman named Tony Jack. And he has written this devotional specifically for February 28, 2023, and that happens to be the date on which I'm recording this program. And so I thought we would share that together. And it starts with some verses from the book of Mark, where Jesus is talking with the crowd and with his disciples. So let's read that. He then began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed, and after 3 days rise again. He spoke plainly about this, and Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. But when Jesus turned and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter. "Get behind me, Satan," he said. "You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and for the gospel will save it." What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with his holy angels. When we read that passage, it's easy to make Peter the bad guy here. But when it comes to this scripture, if I can get really honest with myself, I know that I could easily play the part of Peter in the same way. I don't think the cross is a good idea. I hear Jesus say that it's where he's going and it's necessary, and it's through the cross that resurrection and new life will come. And I'm right there with Peter. Jesus, that's enough of that kind of talk. Make a better plan. One where you use your power to take care of things, where you show your might and overcome sin and death through some kind of physical battle, where it becomes really clear that you are God. Why is suffering a part of it for Jesus? Why not power? Why is this painful display of weakness and loss God's path to save us? These are important questions to ponder, and Jesus knows it. It's why he takes what Peter hoped would be a private conversation, and he brings it out into the open, looking to the crowd and addressing them along with his disciples. And what Jesus does next is to really turn up the intensity on the conversation, because then he shifts it from the cross being about him and for him and where he is going to the cross being for anyone who would want to be Jesus' disciple. And so maybe here is another place to pray and reflect. Jesus gets rid of any notion that following him will be about ease and comfort and safety or winning. Whatever this road of walking with Jesus will look like, Jesus seems to insist that it will be characterized by a downward path, one of sacrifice and self-giving, self-denial, and a kind of death. These words of Jesus are meant to slow us down. Maybe we should read the passage another time or two. Can you stand in Peter's place? Or at least among the crowd Jesus is talking to? What is Jesus saying to you? And here's a prayer. Jesus, when we really listen to you, sometimes your words are much harder than we'd prefer, even upsetting to us. Give us courage to listen to you, to hang in there with you, the way that you hang in there with us. Teach us about your cross. Amen. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now is Jess Portas, who's owner of the Refinery, which is a pottery studio. Jess, great to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
You have some classes there called Clay Curious. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so Clay Curious is an opportunity for people who have never had experience with clay, or even some who may have had experience a long time ago, just to sort of get their hands dirty and give clay a try. They're really fun. They're just 2 hours, and they are a class, they're on the wheel. So yeah, we just sort of go through how to throw a piece on the wheel, and it's really impressive how amazing people are their first time at the wheel. They get really messy. They have a lot of fun, and it's not very stressful. It's pretty low anxiety class, and
Yes.
yeah, they're every other Saturday morning. And in the summer times, we add them also on Tuesday mornings, and yeah, they just have a really great time. And it's a really great stepping stone to see, is this something that I want to continue on with, or is this not for me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great name for it. It's a way to get introduced, find out if you like it.
Right.
Yeah. And then if you do you have more advanced classes people can take? Okay.
I do, yeah. So for the wheel, we have a 6-week wheel class, and that really gets much more involved. And that's actually a sort of entry level into people who really want to continue on and become members. We have hand building classes. Those are generally 4 weeks. Sometimes they're a little bit shorter if they have sort of a theme. We just had a platter class that was only 2 weeks, and then like surface decoration. So
Yeah, some things that are more specific within.
exactly. Yeah, project based.
Yes. So there's a lot of ways for people to be involved. They go, they try it out, they find out that they love it. You know, they can really dig in pretty deep.
Yes.
And it's just a creative place, I take it, from our little bit of talking that we've done. You have some other classes that you offer as well that are outside of just working with clay.
Yeah, we didn't want to, I say we, me, I'll use the we. Didn't want to confine ourselves to just clay. Part of that is because I also kind of wanted to dabble in different mediums, but
Sure.
I really wanted it to be a space where people could exercise creativity in whatever way that was. I'm a big fan of multimedia pieces. I often use weaving and fiber in my clay pieces, and so fiber was really natural to include in the studio. So we have basket weaving classes.
Yes.
Some of them are just reed rattan basket weaving, but we also have some upcycled basket weaving classes, which are really fun because it doesn't feel good to throw things away. It feels really nice to figure out a way to repurpose things. So those have been really popular. We also have macrame, which is kind of cool because people come in, they're like, oh, my grandma did that.
I was just going to say it feels a little retro.
It is, yeah, but macrame is back.
Oh, yeah.
In a big way, and there's all kinds of cool things that you can do with macrame. And so, we've got macrame and basket weaving. We also do printmaking, and printmaking kind of crosses over with clay in that you can actually print in the stamps into the clay by pressing it into the clay, or you can print it onto the clay using a special kind of pigmented clay called underglaze. So that's kind of neat. And then we are starting jewelry making next month, which is tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
it is coming right up.
Yeah, and I feel like there's more that, I don't know, we're always introducing new mediums, and it's a lot of fun kind of exploring things.
So the Refinery is just a great place to get connected with, to let out that creative side.
Right.
That actually everybody has to some degree or another, I think. Everybody's got some part of them that wants to create, that wants to make something.
Yeah, I think everybody is creative. I mean, really, and I say this so often because people come in and they're like, I don't feel like I'm a creative person. Maybe sometimes they've had a really bad experience in elementary school art.
Yeah, somebody told them they couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But really, we're all creative. Being creative is just taking a decision and putting it after another decision. We're creating something right now by stringing words together, and this is a moment that we've created. And really, every moment of our life, we are creating something. So if somebody has a thought in their head that they're not creative, well, I mean, I'm sorry to say to them that they're wrong. We're all creative all the time.
And of course, there are many people who just love to use that side of themselves.
Yes.
And really like to get into it. So it's such a great place to be. Now, people, let's say, they get connected with you. Maybe they want to be long-term involved at the Refinery. Do they get a membership? What do they do?
Yeah, so we do have memberships for people who are experienced with clay and can be trusted to work independently.
Yes.
So, we have a couple of different levels of memberships. Most of our members have 24-hour access.
That's amazing.
It's really wonderful because I have people that I almost never see because they come in the middle of the night. Some people come, really early in the morning. There's a group that comes in the morning. Some groups come in the afternoon. It's kind of fun. I actually have members that almost never see each other, except at our member meetups. But yeah, everybody gets a shelf and everybody gets access to all the glazes, and it's just a really great time.
So they can really come in on their schedule.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then there's another level, which is our daylight membership, and they come in during open hours, which is it's still pretty good. It's Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 5.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So you can sign up, you can become a member, and you would just work that out with you once you have become accomplished to some level.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have a wait list for my membership right now, though, which is really awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody's thinking, you better, get in there, get started, get on the list. And I think there's something really great that you're involved with that is giving back to our community, and that's trying to help people that are in these sort of underserved or marginalized communities. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I have a program called Community Clay. I love it so much. So one of the really cool things about working with clay is that there are proven therapeutic benefits to working with clay. And I really just want to share it with everybody. This is kind of one of the reasons why I opened up this studio instead of just sort of working in my home studio at home and just making and selling it. I wanted to teach it, and I wanted to share it, and I wanted to give people access. And so the whole idea behind Community Clay is sharing it and sharing those benefits with people who really, really need it. And there's so many wonderful organizations in our region who are working with people that really can benefit from it. And so with Community Clay, I have organizations come in and bring in their clients, and they get to play with clay for a couple of hours. And it's just really wonderful to see people, just sort of deflate and almost not in a bad way, but really just you can just see all of these
some peace.
Exactly, just while they're working with it. And even if they're not making anything that they're going to take home, they do pick it up later, but they just don't even necessarily have to care about what they're making. And
it's the process.
Watching that, watching them get to have control for a minute and get to make these decisions. it's just like incredible. So yeah, I'm always looking for organizations to work with. But
And this is at reduced rates, so this is
Yes.
I think you're giving back to the community.
Yeah, it's very inexpensive. Yeah,
Right.
and sometimes I mean, if they really can't make that rate, I will do it for free. Yeah.
Yeah, just giving people that opportunity. Really neat.
Yeah.
So also there's probably some people in our community who work with clay, or they may have places where they can work with clay at home, but they don't have anywhere to fire their finished product. They don't own a kiln.
Yeah.
Do you provide that option?
I do. Yeah, kilns are expensive.
I'm sure.
And then if you get a kiln,
Never tried to buy one, but
right, you got to put in a really big electrical wire, to run it, and then you have the kiln lets off gas, and then you've got to vent it. There's a lot of infrastructure and work that goes into owning a kiln.
Yes.
So yeah, I do outside firing. It's very, very reasonable. It's like 2 cents a cubic inch. And
Wow.
so I do have a lot of sculptors and artists in the community that don't have their own kiln or have access to one. And so I do firing for them. There's a lot of information on my website about it.
So that's another
Yeah.
really cool service. And you have some other things that happen. I mean, people can kind of gather at your facility for
Yeah.
parties, get-togethers.
Yeah, I do private parties. I have one next week, and then I have one the
Nice.
week after. It's really fun. So sometimes they're like businesses approach me about having their department or the whole business come in, and then I have sometimes like birthday parties at the studio. It's really fun, and depending on the number of people, they can do a wheel session if they want. That's kind of limited to 6 people, but any more than that, then we'll just get some clay together and they can bring food. It's a lot of fun.
So something to do at your party rather
Yeah.
than just stand around and chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. That sounds like a lot of fun. Good theme. So I really noticed that overall with the work that you're doing, you're really emphasizing creating an opportunity for people, that accessibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And before I opened the studio, there wasn't a place like this. And so many people, I hear all the time that people are just grateful for having the Refinery available. And I'm grateful that it's available. I love the community. And it's not just the members. It's like I have people taking classes that repeat different classes, or they come back for different mediums, and it's just been amazing getting to know people because there wasn't a space like this, and it's been such a wonderful, like, I don't know how to describe it. I can't imagine it not being in my life now.
Sure.
And I know that a lot of other people feel the same way.
One of those things that well, I guess we have a number of those kind of things here in Walla Walla Valley, but those things that are really special and important to us, those places that are valuable, that make us a community.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really neat. So where are you located?
I am on Poplar and 2nd, just on the south side of downtown Walla Walla.
Okay.
Sort of diagonal from Gary's Paint.
Yes.
You'll find my doorway. It's a bright orange doorway. It's
You
really
can't
hard
miss
to
it.
miss. Yeah, and there's a huge public parking lot across from 2nd from me. And you can park there all day. You're not limited on parking.
Nice.
And there are 2 crosswalks
Another
to
great
use.
thing about Walla Walla.
Yes, yeah.
True. So it's easy to
It's-
find you, easy to get there. And how can people reach you through your website, or however they might connect with you to see what classes are available?
Yeah, so all of my classes are on my website. The Refinery's website is refineryww.com.
Okay.
And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, you can just Google Refinery Walla
Sure.
Walla and you'll find
It'll
it.
pop up.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what my Instagram or Facebook handles
That's okay.
are.
People will find
but
it.
It's really easy to find, and I try to be as responsive as possible. I'm not at a desk job like I used to be, so I'm not the best at responding to my email as soon as possible, but I will respond to email at some
Yes,
point.
very good. Well, that's good, because I can imagine that there are a number of people, after hearing more about it, maybe they didn't know before, they're saying that is the place for me, and I want to check it out. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jess, I really appreciate you taking some time to chat with us about the Refinery today.
Thank you so much. It's been great being here.
All right. And stay tuned. I'll be right back. Time now for station news. I have good news for you. we are getting everyone moved to the Wallula facility. I know we've been talking about getting our staff moved over there, but there have been many, many times when Lowell and our intern Alex and our master control volunteer Michael have had to be still at the Sunbridge facility where they've been doing a lot of their work. Now we will still have some equipment there, but we're able to connect it up using computers and that sort of thing so that we can actually get Lowell and Alex and Michael physically over to Wallula, to the Wallula facility, so that we can all be together as a staff there. Now, I don't know how exciting that is for you, but it's really exciting for us because we like to have everybody together, working together. It provides camaraderie, it provides energy, creativity, and all of those good things that we need at a television ministry. So exciting news to share with you with that one. That does mean, though, that we're just because everybody moved doesn't mean that the needs have stopped, because the need to get all of that equipment actually moved over for the broadcast and that sort of thing at Wallula is still definitely there and a very top and high priority for us. So we are still raising funds for that. So certainly a gift marked "Move to the Wallula facility" would be greatly appreciated for us at Blue Mountain Television. I wanted to highlight a program for you as well, because we're kind of in the sort of the last days of something really, really special that's been airing on Blue Mountain Television for years and years, and that's New Perceptions, or as it's now called, Pioneer Media. And for those of you who are saying, what, New Perceptions, Pioneer Media? I'm not sure that means much to me. How about this name? Dwight Nelson. Dwight Nelson is the speaker for what is now called Pioneer Media from the Pioneer Memorial Church at the campus of Andrews University. And he's such a great preacher. I was listening to him on the radio really recently and enjoying his presentation so much. And of course, we enjoy him on Blue Mountain Television as well in these presentations. Well, he's going to be retiring. But from now through May 27, you can tune into Pioneer Media and see Dwight Nelson preaching brand new sermons from now through May 27. And then there will be repeats of some of Dwight Nelson's sermons, fairly recent ones, that will go on through the rest of this calendar year. And then I'm sure we'll be picking up with whomever the new speaker will be for the Pioneer Memorial Church. So you want to tune in, you want to hear these great sermons that are coming up over the next few months. And you can do that on Saturdays at 9 a.m. So Sabbath morning, Saturday at 9 a.m. on Blue Mountain Television, and also Mondays at 8 p.m. So those are the two times to remember for seeing Dwight Nelson and his fantastic preaching. Also, another update for you. We've been doing some serious volunteer recruitment at Blue Mountain Broadcasting, and our office manager, Carmen Kearns, has been primarily the one working on that. And she has just been delighted to interview with a number of fantastic people. And I wanted to let you know that we now have 4 wonderful people who are going to be coming every afternoon to our Wallula facility and being there to greet you should you stop by to see what's happening at the station. So Carmen works in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, we are going to have these wonderful volunteers who are just really neat, creative people with a heart for mission. So we're very excited about that. We've also been working on gathering some volunteers for maintaining the facility in some other ways, both indoors and out. So we're delighted about that as well. Just really many, many good things going on there. And pretty soon in April, there's going to be a Tri-College Community Service Day. And we're also going to sign up to be part of that project so that we can get some work done on the outside of our building, cleaning up some brush and that sort of thing that really needs to happen. So grateful for volunteers, absolutely. In fact, as I'm talking with you right now, one of our favorite volunteers is standing behind the camera, making sure, so thank you, Roman, and making sure that this show gets recorded. So what would we be without volunteers at Blue Mountain Television? Not nearly as much, that's for sure. And so it's a really, really important aspect of our ministry. So again, thanks to our volunteers. Thank you so much to each of you who financially contribute to this ministry. Absolutely essential. And thank you to those of you who tell others about it and who watch and who appreciate it. And those of you who are prayer warriors for us. How valuable that is. So thanks for all that you contribute to our community television ministry here, and thank you for watching today. I'll see you next time.